So I am making this video for a particular, I don't know if I'm going to put it in my documentary or not. It's for Pastor Marty with the Ocean Park Community Church. And a couple of months ago, God was just like, you got to start going to that church. I'm like, all right, I never really, he doesn't just spell things out for me. And that's what I think it's hard for people to understand, is sometimes when the way that I'm built and the way that I function is sometimes I'll say, can you meet me at this coffee shop at 3 o'clock? Okay, why? I don't know. And sometimes something happens from the time I get off the phone with someone to where even up until maybe 2 minutes away from the parking lot, boom, it'll just come to me. And it's not these abstract thoughts. It's not, the Lord put this on my heart, but there's like lost in translation. For me, it has gotten to the point where it's so, how do I want to say this? It's so precise. There's a precision to it. God, da-da-da-da-da-da. Jesus, da-da-da-da-da-da. Angela, da-da-da-da-da-da. God, da-da-da. Angela, da-da-da. And there have been times when I've been on my computer and I've closed my eyes, typing 70 words a minute, just going. And I open my eyes and it's almost like I've been in this quasi-trance, kind of this in-between. I'm conscientious and cognizant, like if the phone rings, I'll hear it, or if there's a knock at the door, I'll hear it. I'm not gone that way. But most of the time when I get the definitive words, exact words, sometimes I'll get a high pitch in my left ear before it's coming. A lot of times I'll just snap up out of bed and I'll be like, oh no. Sometimes I'm in a deep sleep, and so I gotta like freaking, go down the stair or down the hallway just like dragging, just like, oh my God, I gotta wake up for a second. And other times it's like I've been awake and I'm in the middle of a day. And so what this has to do with the church is this. A while back I had talked to Pastor Marty about the relationships between all of these churches. Now, one thing you need to understand is that in the 7 or 8, however many years that I've lived out here, some churches more than others, but God had given me these assignments, not to be some renegade anything, but, Angela, you're a property manager. I'm like, it's not my property. These aren't my churches. What are you talking about? This isn't my church. Yeah, it is. It's a house. It's one of my houses, right? Yeah, but there's other people that run the church and take care of the church and reap the benefits of the church. And it's just, I had always considered myself this kind of an outcast, like whatever. So God starts working with me over the last, couple of years. And he's like, so you go to these churches, you clean their grounds. There have been several times where there's been garbage strewn all over lawns. You go around, you look around, put your little angel glasses on. You clean up. You leave money and notes and gifts and do all this stuff. And there have been times where you've been woken up by me at 3 o'clock in the morning just to go do a drive-by to make sure that my houses are all right. Most of them, if not security cameras. These churches out here don't have security cameras. Fences. They don't have fences. Big, huge gates around them. They don't have gates around them. What do they have? They have you. So even, there have been times when Christopher and I have come back from somewhere and I'm like, honey, I gotta check on the properties. And he knows what that means. And the United Methodists have been so gracious to open that church site up and let me do everything I've ever wanted to do. And they've been just so amazing about it. And John Dickerson even called me two Easters ago, and apologized for something that had happened out there that he thought I did, but I didn't do, and things like that. So how does this pertain to Marty? Okay, hang on. I'm already at 5 minutes. It's about testimonies. That whole thing, every knee will bow down, every tongue shall confess. I think everybody seems to think that you're going to see Jesus in the sky and then everybody's going to get down on their knee and start babbling confessions. The word that I got, and I wrote down verbatim the conversation, and I'm sitting there thinking, I don't want to start doing this. I don't want to start doing this. I don't want to get sucked into this all over again. I was leading a normal life, doing my normal things. Man, why, oh why? Must you bestow the responsibility of... He's like, Angela, you're just giving them the messages. If they choose to ignore them and not do anything with them, then I'll take care of them. It's not for you to worry about. But I do, because I take things as rejection, because he plants a seed in my head. I convey the message. If I get rejected over something, then it's like, I get pissy. I'm like, you know what? Fine. Screw you guys. And then I cut a tie, and then what am I doing? I'm cutting myself off from the church. He's like that. Don't you think that you have any authority over the world, considering you're a mother to it and you take care of the environment, and you guys are the ones out picking up trash on the beach and filling the people's minds with knowledge of we need to do this to preserve that, and here's, he's like, you don't think you have any rights to any of my houses? I'm telling you, I have rights to my houses. There's not a pastor on this peninsula at this point they should all know who you are. And when they see you coming, they shouldn't be thinking, oh great, she's gonna, suck another 5 hours out of my day or whatever. He's like, they should see you coming and be like, hey Angela, come on in, do you want to come in? Just like how they do at St. Mary's. Do you need to go in the church and yell? Do you need a blanket to lay down? That's what the church is supposed to do, especially for people like you. I'm like, all right. So we get on this whole thing about testimonies. Stand up and give your testimony. And here's the proposition. Maybe every Sunday you could kind of start working into your program a 10-minute segment for one person to stand up and give their testimony. This is the person that I was before Jesus came into my life. As a matter of fact, here's some of the stupid things I did. Jesus comes into my life and you explain a little bit about how your life was changed and then where you see yourself in the future. And I'm like, all right, well, I can write that down and give it to him, no prob. And he's like, well, you know what? You can go first. And I'm like, what? I'm like, yeah, but man... they talk all the time about don't be going, airing your dirty laundry. He's like, you repented, right? Yeah. I don't hold it against you, right? Right? So why should they? They don't have the right to hold it against you. He said, but it does take a lot of courage to stand up and talk about some of the things you did because people are very judgmental and very unforgiving. So the whole thing, to sum this whole segment up, is God's wanting pastors to let other pastors know that their congregations need to start testifying. And I'm not even going to get into what the ramifications of that could mean. So anyway, alright, I'm done with this video, out of pain right now, and I'm going to go to bed. Bye-bye.